Morning, welcome back to the Football Terrace. I hope you had wonderful Saturday evenings, some time with friends, family, your children, whatever it may be. Hope your Sundays have started well. Mine has. Happy days. Lots to delve into today. Lots of trending news across the mainstream media and social media to delve into today. Of course, I want to get your take. I want your honest thoughts about these stories, your opinions on what's going on. We are going to open up the lines for you to phone in and have your say. Remember, the only fan channel that gives you a voice to speak about these stories that we, the football community, are being presented with today. Thank you to everybody that's already smashed that like button. Absolute honor it is. All the new subscribers in the last week or so. It's been amazing. Record numbers for an international week as well. So thank you very much indeed. Proud as punch. Let's see who's in the comment sections here. Who is here today? Comment here says, Zidane said he's not interested. Well, we'll delve into the story. Again, listen to the story. This is Sunday Times. We'll go into that just there. Damien says, pure lies. Speak to those outlets. All the information shared across our Twitter account. Go check it out and see what they've got to say there. Marvu says, Ollie's staying. That's exactly what rivals have to believe at this moment in time. Felix says, Zidane in. Wizard says, morning, Terry. Hope you are well. Pav, one of my members, says morning, but I've got to go to bed. I've got work later. We'll watch later. No worries, Pav. You get that sleep in, brother. I know you work hard, night shifts, my friend. I want to know where you're all watching from around the world right now as well. I want to know where you are. I want to know what you've been up to. I want to know whereabouts you're watching from. Don't say the country. That's a bit boring. Go to the town. Not the door number or nothing. Just the town where you're, or city that you're watching from around the world. It's always nice to know. There we go. Rodgers is the most likely to come in, then Zidane, because those are the two who have been talked about the most, is what Gabriel has got to say today. So look, I look at it this way. These are the overarching stories that are trending today. So we shared the kind of headlines on our my Twitter page. The link for that you can find in the description below at Terry Flewers. First of all, one of the reports this morning I read is that Solskjaer's position is becoming increasingly untenable by the day, and he's been made aware of internal meetings that makes this true. The one thing in my mind that gives me a slither, a quantum of solace in this difficult moment is the fact he's been given a week away. Nobody can quite make sense of why this week away has happened. Maybe United have been working on trying to find a replacement, knowing our board, dragging their feet, not being able to get it done. There's another report that says Man United are working to pursue Zidane to come in. Now, that's a big report from Duncan Castles and the Sunday Times this morning that they are working hard. And the line from them is Man United's board. No, sorry, I misread the line there. It says Man United are working hard to pursue and persuade Zidane to succeed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as their manager. They believe leaning on the likes of Varane and Cristiano Ronaldo, who have excellent working relationships with Zinedine Zidane, that they can get that done. I think from my point of view, I feel like chasing Zinedine Zidane is a little bit of a pipe dream for Manchester United, but it does appear that reports are coming out that they are doing it. Are they doing it in vain for PR to get people back on side? Or do any of you believe there's a genuine chance that Man United can convince Zidane to come in? What I do find interesting is this notion of, on one hand, rivals and Man United fans say, you're Man United, you've got all this money, go for a big boy manager, spend that money, try and get him into your club. What are you doing? And as soon as they're linked with trying to do that, it's, why are you chasing a big time manager? Nobody's going to come. The fandom is in a mess here. But I want your take as to whether or not you think it's true. The Manchester Evening News report that Man United spoke to Ronaldo amongst other senior players, and Ronaldo has given the green light for Zidane. It's the manager that he would like to come in. And this couples onto a report from Alex Crooks that a lot of senior players, including Cristiano Ronaldo, are very unhappy at Manchester United at this moment in time, highly frustrated with what is going on. Lots of senior players, including Ronaldo, as they say, are unhappy at the club. There were then also very loose reports last night, and we always share these reports. This is from Alan Nixon, who stated that Brendan Rodgers has started house hunting in Cheshire as he moves closer to the Manchester United job. So lots of rumours sparking today, quiet for 2 or 3 days from large number of outlets, and then around 10, 11 o'clock last night, all this news starts to circulate. We'll do what we always do on the terrace, the biggest trending news across social media in football terms. We share in the mornings. We give you the chance to have your say and give your opinions on it. Remember, we'll give you an update a little later on the football terrace competition that we've got running to win a PlayStation 5 and a pair of Cristiano Ronaldo's football boots. We will give the first clue away, but we need these streams to get past 1,000 likes for that to happen. And we've been so close during when we've been live on a number of occasions. There's a comment here that says, according to Tribuna Senior, Man United officials are working on convincing Zidane in the phrase, is the phrase 3 p.m. blackout. The phrase isn't 3 p.m. blackout. That's a really good guess. And I've heard a few things about Zidane coming in. And the one thing I would say about the sources that have put this out is I just don't disregard any ahead of time, any of them too soon, because I've seen on far too many occasions, I've seen journalists like attacked and put down for what they think and feel, and then the story turns out to be somewhat true later on down the line. So I take all the stories, however big or small, with an element of salt, pinch of salt, as in don't take them all too seriously. I report on them, I give my opinions, and then I just wait for the news to kind of change. As I've always pointed out, I do remember very vividly just 2 weeks ago coming on the football terrace and doing a story that said Tottenham is picking up pace, and me personally being absolutely attacked for even saying it. And I'm like, oh, this is the source. This is the person. It's what they're saying. Within 48 hours, he was the manager. So I've just learned to not disregard any, listen to all sources, and then, you just make your mind up as more and more news comes in. Someone here says, talking about Ollie every day is boring. It's not really talking about Ollie. It's talking about the situation surrounding Man United, and it's breaking trending news. To not touch on the breaking trending news is a madness. We did a hot takes video just last night. We've done ranking shows this week. We've done big chat about Chelsea yesterday as well. So come on, my friend. That isn't the case at all. Someone here says, I'm reading that Rodgers and his wife are house hunting. Yeah, I've come across that rumor as well today. Chelsea Australia says Terry is living in La La Land. Again, I'm not claiming any of these stories are true, my brother. I'm just presenting you with the news. Manesh says reports, headlines, setting yourself up for pain later when he's still here at Xmas. As I said, I'm not really setting myself up for any pain. It's just the news. We're here to talk about it, my bro. You see me jumping off the ceiling going, oh, Zidane. But nice try. Terry, would you get relegated if it meant we got rid of the Glazers? If it meant if you could guarantee me we get rid of the Glazers and we get very good owners in, yes. If not, no. There's not enough known facts. I need to know all the variables before I make my decision. That would be my view on that, my friend. Zidane and Rodgers are the two most likely to join Man United. Quite a lot of you are saying that in here. We've got a poll running as well right now. 48% of you think Rodgers is the most likely, followed by Zidane with 37%, Ten Hag 10%, Poch on 5. I mean, there was a report yesterday, I think, in the Telegraph about Poch maybe becoming available as well. Terry, Conor Gallagher called up to the England squad. Yeah, he was. He was called up to the England squad. An excellent call up for him. And a great moment and a proud moment for him and his family. What a season that young man has had so far. He's done so well, played well, performed brilliantly. Yeah, he should be so proud of himself. No doubt about it at all. No doubt about it at all. Terry, have you changed your mind on Ollie's fluid football? I remember when you said that video and I said, this guy is crazy. No, Ollie's system of attack is fluid. It's fluid and it's direct. So people are not in set positions, but they don't move and it's overtly prescribed. There's a lot of movement, a lot of change, a lot of overlap. It's very quick. So the fluid nature was the fact that it was very quick. 1, 2, 3 touches, fluid transition from back to front, 4, 5, 6 pass attempts, almost maximum before they work themselves into the box. That hasn't changed. Man United haven't gone backwards this season because of the way they attack, the direct nature of attack at all. It's gone backwards because of no defensive structure. So nothing I've ever said, if you go back and watch those videos, I presented it with numerous examples and statistical evidence to back it up and video evidence to back it up. So I don't change my mind on any of that at all. For me, it's just not working to the level that we want it to. It just hasn't progressed in the level that we want it to. And do you want to know how I know that people know there's a system, whether it works or not? Is when Ronaldo was signed, everybody said he's going to ruin our system. Well, he can't ruin a system that didn't exist. Ronaldo can't be the problem like people are making out if there was no system. It's impossible. The two things don't compute in working brain cells. And I know you know that because you're a smart guy, but good attempt. Let's have a look at a few more comments here. Get rid of the Glazers. What I laugh when fans love the Glazers when they buy the shirts is what Tony Shields has got to say. Terry, would you give Ollie the director of football job? No, not anymore. There was something that I think fans kind of toyed with. I think that's gone. That's done. That is dusted as of. I think that's done now. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that at all. Seto here says, this is getting embarrassing, Terry. Ollie isn't going anywhere. We all know this. Wishful thinking for the new manager. I mean, this isn't wishful thinking from the fan. This is genuine media articles. I sometimes do worry about the fact that some viewers on YouTube think YouTubers make the news up or it's our news. Like whether you're watching Goldbridge, whether you're watching me, whether you're watching Stretford Paddock, whether you're watching any club's YouTube channels, they're YouTube channels. They literally share the news that the mainstream media puts out and talk about it. No one on YouTube has, unless you've got a journalist coming on your show, nobody has genuine bona fide news. Rarely anyway. It's just, we talk about what's being discussed. It's a bit like when I do a match reaction, I'm not talking about the game like I played in it. I'm talking about what I saw and witnessed. When YouTubers talk about the news, we're talking about what's trending, what's out there, and we give our opinions on it. So definitely agree it's embarrassing that the club haven't got a new manager in as of yet. In terms of the news, it's not wishful thinking from fans because very few of us are sitting there going, oh my God, Zidane's coming. That would be a wishful thinking approach, my friend, but thank you. Let's have a little look at some of these comments here. It's difficult to say where we go because, okay, that comment doesn't make sense. Ashley here says, Terry, we all know Ollie is staying, so I don't know why you have to make a show about another manager coming in. It's the news. It's the news, my bro. So do you guys want... So I have to ignore the news headlines because some of you don't believe it. Come on. Think about what you're saying through to its end conclusion. How far do we take that? Morning, Terry. I think Rodgers seems the most likely, but I'd imagine the fan base would prefer Ten Hag or Zidane. I also would, but Rodgers is still an improvement right now. I agree with that, David, so much. I think Zidane's my first choice out of the ones that are really linked to the club. Forget people that are not linked to us. There's no point discussing them anymore. Ten Hag would be my second choice. Rodgers would probably come sort of third, fourth in terms of who we're linked with, but he's still definitely an improvement on what we've got. And the others, for me, do feel a little bit untenable, irrespective of the news that's kind of coming through and that's being spoken about out there. Terry, do you think Ronaldo is hurting United? No. That if Ronaldo is the reason that he's hurting us and we've gone backwards, then everybody needs to apologize for having to go at Ollie for the past 2.5 years. It makes like Ronaldo's being used as, I think some people are like, they're really gutted that we weren't better in the last few years and hadn't been winning trophies and then gone backwards after Ronaldo joined because they want to put it on Ronaldo for their agenda against him, but they can't because they've also been telling us that Ollie's a PE teacher. If we had a brilliant manager and a brilliant system and went backwards like this, you'd have a point. But It doesn't make sense. You can't have a non-system PE teacher, trash manager, and then blame it on world-class players that have come in. How can they mess a system up that you say don't exist? I love this game. That is the bit I am enjoying the most. I feel like people are really like eager to go at like Ronnie, and they're like, yeah, but I can't because I've been saying for years how bad Ollie is, and I've shot myself in the foot on this bit of banter. It's great. It really is great to see. It really is great to see. In relation to that, it is really funny to see. Let's have a little look here at some more of your comments. We're closing in on our first 200 likes on the show, which is great. I'll give you an update on the competition very, very soon. We'll give the first secret phrase clue away when we hit that 1,000 like mark. So share the stream with your friends, with people in group chats. Get them involved now to come on and have their say this morning. I'm going to put the link into the live comment section. Again, the only fan channel that daily gives you the chance to phone up, have your say, and express your opinions. If you feel like phoning up and challenging some of these news stories today, feel free to. I'm going to post that link now in the comment section. I've just done it. I'm also going to pin that into the live comment section as well, so you can see it when you come in. Terry, are you a proud United fan? You do ask the weirdest questions, Twisted Bubba. No, not right now. I'm not proud of how we're operating as a football club right now at all. So I'm not. My pride is very much in tatters because of the way this club is run. There's no doubt about it at all. Hunter here says, love from South Africa. Do you think the next Man United coach will keep Carrick and the rest of Ollie's coaching staff? No, I don't think they will keep them all. I think some may stay, but not all of them. Not all of them. I can't see it myself, buddy. I can't see it myself. I really, really can't. That's just my view, though. Ray's with us now. Ray's phoned in this morning to have you say, what you saying, Ray?
Mike, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. What do you want to say, bro?
Well, I'm going to say, Ollie time is finished, If he's not before Christmas, it's definitely at the end of the year. Because you can see that the players have stopped playing. I'm not really questioning his credentials as a manager or anything like that, but he obviously has lost the dressing room because they're just not playing. I mean, when I was watching the game, especially the City game, I just see people jogging back into positions, not actually trying to run and press and nothing. And that just shows you that they're just there out saying, oh, well, I'm just going to play like an idiot. And then when he can get the sack, he gets the sack. I mean, all these rumors you're hearing, they are out with no fire. So if Zidane doesn't want the job, Rodgers is coming the job. And I think what they're trying to do with United is if he loses stink again, then he'll get the boot. I don't believe United really saw this coming. Fans didn't see this coming because I remember calling in the summer when we signed Ronaldo and said, there's a lot of hope and hype around United because we've got Ronaldo, we saw Varane, we've got Sancho, and then there was a positive feeling amongst the fans. And then we beat Leeds United, and then everybody was like, yes. But then all of a sudden, we lose the young boys, and then it's all gone south. So I believe the board has been putting into. I mean, I don't like the board, but I can sympathize with them in this one where they've been put back into a corner, not really thinking that what they've done in the summer would put us like this. So yeah, Ollie is going. He is going.
There we go. This to make great call. Thanks for coming on, Ray, and having your say. Really appreciate that, bro. Next on the channel, I want to speak to Max. Max's World is coming on to have his say. There he is. He's on the camera now. How you doing, mate? What do you want to say, Max?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. What do you want to say, bro?
Sorry, hold on. I need to make sure my earphones are working. Oh, God.
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, we'll put you back on in a minute when you're ready, bro. Safe is with us now. What you saying, Safe?
Yo, what's up, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. What do you want to say, Safe?
Well, I want to challenge you on your recent videos. First of all, I do want Zidane to replace Solskjaer.
Yeah.
But earlier on, you said that Manchester United can challenge for the Premier League or win the Premier League with his squad. You said that Manchester United can get to the semi-final of the Champions League or possibly win the Champions League with the squad.
Yes,
Yep.
with a world-class manager. Yes, I said that.
You're wrong.
Okay.
Shall I tell you why? Because
Go on
our
then.
midfield is not as strong as it was as 99. So you're telling me that Scott McTominay is as good as Paul Scholes?
No.
So you're telling me that Manchester United midfield is better than the 08 midfield or the 99 midfield? No, it's not. So how can Manchester United challenge for the Premier League if our midfield is not as strong and our defense is leaky?
Because I believe
just don't understand
because I believe a world-class manager can get these players to perform. I don't believe the majority of our players are as bad as we make out. Our midfield includes Nemanja Matic. Our midfield includes Paul Pogba. Our midfield includes Donny van der Beek. Our midfield includes Bruno Fernandes. Even Fred, when he plays for Brazil, looks pretty good.
Yes.
I believe a world-class manager could construct a system and a structure within our team to enable us to challenge for the major titles. We have a very, very good squad of players. Are there holes where new people need to be signed over the course of time? Yes. But I see much weaker squads and teams play with much more strength and control midfield better than we do. So we'll agree to disagree. But I believe, cool. You can believe that I'm wrong. But we've literally seen this happen with Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea, where there are a number of players within that team not highly rated by the majority of football fans. A world-class manager comes in, and we see a marked improvement in the structure and where they play. So, it is what it is, mate. What's your next point, bro?
My next point is that how many of these midfield players will be able to start in 99 or 8 or 8?
It's just a complete irrelevant question because we're not playing in that era. What does it matter?
It's not irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. So you're telling me that okay, I can name you for around 3 midfield players can be on a bench squad, or maybe it's
what's that got to do? But what's that got to do with anything, Safe? Why does that matter?
Because it matters because our midfield is not as strong enough. Our midfield is
but
not
what's that got to do? What is your point behind saying this?
My point is that you're trying to blame Oli. You're trying to blame the board, how the club is running in a bad way.
You come on here for 2 years blaming Oli. So why are you having a go at me for blaming Oli?
Okay. I don't like Oli tactic wise. I admit that. I don't agree with his tactic wise. My issue is that our team isn't clicking, and the reason why it's not clicking because we don't have the structure in midfield that can create.
So you essentially think even if we bring in a world-class manager, because our midfield isn't good enough, that they'll struggle as well.
Yes. Bring Zidane. Bring Thomas Tuchel.
So what you're saying? So we're gonna struggle like we are now, even with a world-class manager.
Yes, because
safe. If we struggle like we are now with a world-class manager, then what's the point of sacking Oli? That doesn't make any sense at all. Bro, thanks for calling in and having your say. Really appreciate that, my man. Thank you very much indeed. That's my point. People say Oli's trash and taking us backwards, but then equally say a world-class manager won't get any better out of this current squad of players. Well, then it's a squad and it isn't the manager then. It's nonsense. The world-class manager improves us, in my opinion. Next on the show, we're going to go back to, if Max there, I can see his curtains again. He's not ready. Are you there, Max? Max is ready to go. I can see the top of his head. What are you saying, Max?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well. What do you want to say, bro?
I just want to say that, just in general, I feel sorry for, obviously I'm a Man United fan as well. I feel sorry for, the Man United fans that had to, go through this whole, mental struggle. Because I understand there's a lot of Man United fans that have, this emotional attachment to Solskjaer, and they want to see him do well, and they want to see him succeed. And I understand that. I get that. But I don't know, for me, because I'm obviously a lot younger, innit? I was only, 1 when that happened? 99 and stuff. So I don't really look at it as a thing where, my sentiment is a bit, So I've been Ole out for 2.5 years, and I just haven't seen it going anywhere. But I feel and this is one thing that I'll say, is that the manager and the coaching staff have led us to believe that our players are not as good as they can be. And I feel like people need to understand that we don't have a manager that develops players and develops youth and things like that. Because I remember your point about how I mean, not even your point, but I think someone else's point about how Greenwood's been the same since he was 17. Like, he hasn't improved. None of these players have really improved. So I personally think that if we have a better manager, we would be successful. Because, like you said in the person before, like you have players like Donny van der Beek, Nemanja Matic, Pogba, Fred. They all play good when they play internationally, but when they come to Man United, and they're basically just told to fend for themselves. So I think any manager would be good right now, but I would probably prefer a Zidane or a Ten Hag, but it's kind of difficult to get the managers, don't you think?
Yeah, look, I kind of look at it like I kind of look at it from the point of view of I think Ollie, I disagree that Greenwood hasn't got better since he was 17. I think that he has. But again, I think some of the criticism of Ollie is too extreme. Nothing. Like when people say he's done nothing for the club, no improvements, I disagree. Up until the end of I felt we'd improved in areas, but it still wasn't good enough. And I think sometimes there's people are just too like absolute in one direction. But I do get it to a degree. Where I agree with you though is a lot of our players are being dragged over the coals.
Yeah.
Right from, and again, every Man United fan has a difference of opinion. I think the likes of AWB with a proper coaching system around them would be much better football players. I feel like there's been a regression in him as a player. And this was the guy that his first year at the football club, there was barely anybody moaning about him. Yes, from an attacking point of view, he isn't the best out there, but I'm just intrigued to see. One thing we haven't had since Fergie is a brilliant manager at the peak of his powers with an excellent coaching staff around him. We haven't had that. Not once. And I just want to see how these players improve and how they move forward with that. And we just haven't had it. And it's frustrating as a Man United fan. So as fans, I think sometimes we waste so much energy fighting about what player is and isn't good enough. But then at the same time, none of us believe the manager is good enough. And it's like, but we've said that about all four of our last managers. So until an example would be, look, I know you say that, bro, but look at Jordan Henderson at Liverpool. Look at Rudiger at Chelsea, J5 at Chelsea. Once they got world-class managers, the improvement was immense. So I don't get why we don't have that same view on our own players.
No, so one thing I would say to that though is that I feel like that argument of that we've had four managers, or like how many? 4 managers. Well, I think Solskjaer's our 4th manager since Fergie. All their managers came in at different positions and they had different problems. So Van Gaal was like, we had Paddy McNair and Varela and their man in defence, and we still managed to win the FA Cup. So he done what he could. Mourinho in his first season, he won trophies, even though we would argue that the squads that all these managers had up until Solskjaer weren't as good enough. So we had and
I hear
not good enough,
bro. And I hear you on that. Like the LVG and Jose were past their best when they came in, but were still better managers than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm not denying that. My point is this: have we had a manager since Fergie who legitimately, when he came in and when he's left, we've all gone one of the best in the world?
Yeah, no.
And if you look at it, what have LVG and Jose done since leaving Man United? Nothing. That's it's not like LVG went and joined Barcelona and won them the treble a year later, and we're like, why didn't we keep him? We haven't brought in a Klopp, a Pep, a Conte, a Tuchel, someone who is right now like one of the very best on the planet. And that's the bit that's frustrating for me. So when I hear people say our squad isn't good enough, the reason I reject it is because our squad isn't good enough has always been attached to wanting a manager sacked each time. We've refreshed the squad. We then look at the new squad and go, this one's ready to win. The manager fails and we spend time attacking the squad. How about we keep the majority of this squad together and give a world-class manager and his brilliant coaching staff 18 months to work with it with a few additions, as opposed to always looking to overhaul loads of new players, which then just takes 2 or 3 years. And by the time we end up getting to the end of that period, everybody's kind of lost faith in that process and we have to start again. That's my concern, bro. I would love to see you give Pep Guardiola this squad for 2 months of training and he changes our mind, in my opinion, on a lot of players in this team. I'm not going to say he's going to make Fred and McTominay, Scholes and Keane. Again, everybody likes to go so exaggerated. I'm just saying he can get, if Patrick Vieira can get the Crystal Palace midfield to be able to dominate the ball in lots of games they've played in. If man like Graham Potter can get the likes of Dunk playing out from the back, a world-class manager can get our squad to play football. It just makes sense to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. But I just think personally that it's very difficult considering our board and our manager, because we have a manager that like says he loves Man United. I'm not going to deny that he does love Man United, but he obviously won't leave. Like, he obviously doesn't want to leave, and obviously there's obviously, like, it's coming out that the players want him to leave. Fair enough, but it's only the board that can actually make him leave. So I don't want it to be a thing where all of the good work he has done, he undoes it by at the end of the summer when Pogba has to leave, Van der Beek is going to want to leave, like Henderson, like all these other people are going to leave.
And you know what? That's when I look at the board, because they're allowing. So the reports yesterday from Alex Crooks is that a lot of the players are becoming more and more unhappy. There was reports the day before of players being miffed that that training's been called off all this week. Those things will create, in the end, a very toxic environment, and it will undo a lot of the work that's been done behind the scenes. And that's for the board to act on. But bro, really appreciate your call, Max. Really good challenges and really good points being raised, brother. Speak to you again soon. Top man. Thank you, bro. All the best. That's it. Call in, have your say. There's a comment here that I want to read that said, Zidane talks begin. What is a source? Bro, the source is the Sunday Times. The Sunday Times, one of the most oldest and most credible media outlets in the history of humanity. That's who has put this news story out today, not me. It's all in the description below. It's literally in the description. Read it. Check my Twitter account out. It's all there, bro. Grandma's wheelchair has more acceleration than Safe's brain on his take on United. Oh, look, Safe's just challenging me. I don't think Safe often believes what he says. He's just trying to, like, get me. That's his point. Do me a favor this morning, people. If you're liking the stream, make sure you subscribe. I'll do a little Sunday deal. If we hit 500 likes on this stream, I'll give you the first clue to our secret phrase. I'll give you our first clue to it. Phone in now to have your say as well. Let's have a little look at some of these comments here from you all this morning. Fred equals Jemba. Remember that player? My God, he was awful, to be fair. Let's look at some of these comments here. Terry, I agree with you. A good coach and manager will get the best out of the squad. We know how to use them in a system. It's just, listen, I think it stands to reason that a top class coach can get more out of these players. JP, just keep hitting the like button, bro. Just hit that like button for us, my guy. Right. Let's have a little look here at some more things. Gabriel says, why are people asking for sources? You can clearly type in Zidane to Man United and it will come up. Yeah, look, most people know how to use Google. And most of these men have Twitter as well. They can see it trending. It's just a dig at me, but I'm fine with it. I'm completely at ease. It's like, cool. No worries, my guys. No worries at all. As I say, I'm fairly relaxed about it, if I'm being honest. Let's see some more of your comments here. Daz says it's gone sour for Ollie. Sad and disappointed, but Ollie himself could have stopped this if he really loved the club. Yeah, a lot of people suggesting he should have moved himself on, should have left, should have gone. Dark Side User is now on the show this morning. What are you saying, mate?
Hi, Terry, mate.
How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just calling up about all this Ollie stuff and Ollie out and all the rest of this. Yeah, everyone can say Ollie needs to go. We all know that when you compare him to at least half the managers in the Premier League, he's below par. But the fact of the matter is, your board and how your club run will not change a thing. Because long as Man United are still relevant, the board will be happy. And I think with your supporters, I think they've got to start moving away from the Fergie era. I think you've got the same problems as Liverpool had in the past, because Liverpool and Man United as clubs are like two sides of the same coin. Everything in their history is similar. Now, for many years, Liverpool fans kept on going on about the old days of boot room and all that kind of stuff. And then Klopp came in and said, look, that's our history. Forget all of that. We're going to create our new history. What Ollie's trying to do is replicate the Fergie era. You've got a guy in charge of your club who refused to park his car in the manager's spot out of respect for Fergie. That's inferiority. I'm sorry. If you've got that mentality, you can't manage a club like Man United. You know, LVG, Moyles, Jose, they all parked in that parking space. Fergie's got a new parking space, mate. If you think like that, you shouldn't be at a club at Man United. Simple as that. But until your board change their attitude, because let's be honest, you've got the money, you've got all the tools to be successful, but your board are happy just to be relevant as a top 4 team. So to me, I don't think it matters who you get, and I do think you will get Brendan Rodgers. And the reason why I think you'll get Brendan Rodgers is because Brendan Rodgers will play the game that your board want. He will play to your supporters like he did with the Liverpool supporters, like, oh, let's bring back the red football nets. And he'll do that kind of stuff with the green and yellow. But when it comes to the success of your club, you will win things, but you'll never, and this is one thing that Man United fans have got to accept, like Liverpool fans, we should be grateful that we dominated for 20 to 30 years, both clubs, but we will never get that back. You know what I mean? Everything moves forward. What Man United need to be thinking about, we need to be winning, but we need to be relevant in the way where, yeah, we win a Premier League this season. We may not win it again for 2 seasons, but then we'll win it again. But in that time, we'll win something else. The dominance that our 2 clubs had is history. But we know that the likes of the Man Cities and the Chelseas won't replicate that. They will win stuff, but they'll never have that kind of dominance that our 2 teams had. You know, I don't know what you think about that, like, Terry.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. I think there is this. People often say to me, like, I've had it in the last few days where I've given my take on the Glazer out stuff, and they're like, oh, it's not just about winning. I'm like, you haven't heard me say we have to be winning everything. When you spend what Man United, what Liverpool, what Arsenal, what Chelsea, what Man City spend on transfers and on salaries, there should be the expectation, because of how much more you're spending than every other club in England and most clubs in Europe, there should be an expectation to be continuously and consistently competitive. It doesn't mean you win the title every year. Doesn't mean you win the Champions League every year. Doesn't mean you win the FA Cup every year, but it means you're competitive in those tournaments. And every now and then you'll have a drop-off season where you're not quite as good, but there should be almost an instant bounce back if you operate well and you work well. When there are teams in the Prem, and I mean this with respect, like Brighton, like Crystal Palace, like Wolverhampton Wanderers, like Leicester City, that are continually playing better football, just better football than you, and pound for pound are being run better, it's an embarrassment. It's an absolute embarrassment, and that for me is it's not even my minimum. It is my minimum expectation. But with that, I'd be happy. Do I expect Man United, with all the other top quality teams in the world, to always be at the top of the tree? No. And I think times have moved on since Fergie's dominant era and Liverpool's dominant era. There's so many teams now with money that are well run, that are moving up the ladder, and that's great for the competitive nature of the league. But I want us to be able to compete with those people. We spend like them. Therefore, we should be able to perform like them. And that's my biggest issue. Great call, Dark Side User. Good to speak to you again. Take care, my bro. Thank you very, very much indeed. Carl here says top-class managers will get the best out of this team, Terry. No doubt we got talent. It's just not being used correctly, is what Ray's got to say. I think most people would agree. Most people would completely and utterly agree with you on that, my friend. They really, really would. Winter's Wrath here says Spurs have had no history. The last time Spurs were relevant, again, I don't understand why you're putting that in, but okay, my bro, you remember, so we put it up. Man United fans don't deserve a manager like Rodgers. Spoilt brats for the last 10 years. United fans will have seen more success than others fans ever will. I want to ask you a question. What do you mean by don't deserve a manager like Rodgers? In what respect? Like what's leading you to say that, buddy? I really want to understand your claim a little bit more. If you didn't know about it already, we're going to let you know about our competition we're currently running on the Football Terrace. In this golden envelope behind me is a secret football phrase. If you super chat in, a lot of you super chat every day. So the reason we started this competition is for you to add something on the end of your super chat. Have a guess at the secret phrase. You might just guess with the super chat by itself. But if you get it right, we are going to give you a brand new PlayStation 5, 2 control pads, and a pair of Cristiano Ronaldo's football boots. We'll get them sent out and delivered to you. We already have the PS5 in stock. We managed to get hold of 2 yesterday, which is amazing. So we will be running these competitions more regularly. We just want to give back to our super chatters. You mean so much to us. You really, really do. Make sure you've smashed that like button. Let's go back to some more of your calls. Right, next on the show, Andrew's here with us now. Andrew, good morning. Who do you support?
I support Manchester United through and through. Yes, meaning Jose Mourinho's time. Yes, but let me think of this. The club, it needs to open its eyes and ears. Even the fans also, because that's the lifeblood of any club. Because without fans, the club is irrelevant. But to the board, it's not. So I think the only way to that I have the solution, but I'm just a fan saying the solution, but nobody will listen to me. I think the only way to get a club back is that if we all come together and raise, buy them out. Meaning, if we can buy them out, then we can have some success and change will really happen. But I don't think it'll happen. And another point is that Zinedine Zidane to Manchester United, these are talks just to divide the fan base again, and Rodgers in, Rodgers out, Zidane in, Zidane out. So that's how they're putting these sources out. It's very sad. That's why we are not united, and it's depressing for all the United fans. Exactly 1.1 billion fans around the world, and my another point is that the coaches. Tell me one manager who is coaching each club in each region or country. Is that, will they have relegated coaches that don't have any experience? They all have experienced coaches.
Completely get to you on that. I completely get you on that about the experienced coaches element, my guy. I think in terms of the stories about Rodgers or Zidane, I don't think that divides the squad. I find that quite healthy, fun sort of debate to have. In terms of the management, they tried something with Ollie. It hasn't worked. The painful element is them taking too long to move on from him. Andrew, thank you very much for coming on and having your say, mate. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. Let's do some more. Let's get some more from your comment section here. The English media is just discrediting Zidane's achievements. The right manager we should go for is Zidane. I don't see what Rodgers will change at United, is what's being said here. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. Since Ollie hasn't been fired yet, I'm starting to feel like he will stay until the fans start chanting against Ollie. Any real club would have fired him after the start we had. Yeah, a lot of people would agree with you. Remember, if you want to phone in, the link is in our live comment section. Now, a lot of you very active in the comment section. Lots to say, lots to agree with, lots that you're challenging us on today, which is got challenging Man United on. Phone up now, have your say. Phone into the show and have your say. We're closing in on that 500 like mark as well, which is amazing. So a big thank you to each and every single one of you that does that for us. Let's have a look at some more of these comments. Terry, imagine Sterling goes to Man United. Yeah, I very much doubt it, but can you imagine the outrage? The outrage would be massive. The outrage would be massive. Right, Shrey's with us now on the show this morning. Well, welcome back to the Terrace. What do you want to say about this news we've been given today?
Hey Terry, first thing is I think Zidane will happen. I think Zidane should happen, but I think Rodgers is the likeliest to happen because if you look at it, Zidane is someone who's worked with Ronaldo. He has the CV, like he earns the respect of the players. I'm not sure personally. Rodgers is someone. I want your take on this. If you believe that Rodgers is someone who would have Ronaldo's respect, because someone as great as Ronaldo, like he wants to be coached by somebody who knows the game, understands the game, has played the game, and who has won in the game, who's probably like at his, has the level of accomplishments that he does. So, that's where I think Zidane would be a better fit, but I'm not sure it'll happen.
Look, Zidane's my number one choice of managers right now. As I've said for a long time, Brendan Rodgers for me is someone that would look. Brendan Rodgers would make us a better football team. I have my reservations as to whether or not he can win the major trophies. But Zidane, we have someone that has won those majors. He's won La Liga. He's won 3 Champions Leagues, not only 3, but on the bounce. He's managed the egos. He would command. I'm not saying that Brendan Rodgers wouldn't command respect, but Zidane walks in and everybody. Zidane's that kind of figure in football where if he's in a room at any footballing event in the world, everybody goes to shake his hand. You couple that with what he's won, his playing style, the 3-peat Champions Leagues, his relationships already with some of Man United's star players, all those things make him a better appointment for me than Brendan Rodgers. The only thing Rodgers has over Zidane is that he has proven himself as a very capable coach in the Premier League. And like if I'm doing like a pros and cons list, that's probably the only one that you tick Rodgers over Zidane. We don't know if Zidane can do it in the Prem. He most likely can. It's something I wouldn't even care about. Zidane, my number one choice. However, I don't know. I don't know if we can get that done, in my opinion. But we will see. Shrey, really good point. Go on.
Yeah. One more thing. I think the one way they can get him is I think if Ed Woodward, if he really is ambitious, goes to Ronaldo and says to him, look, like we need you to talk to Zidane, like convince him to come to us. Like if I think they have a good enough relationship, like Ronaldo and Zidane. Like if Ronaldo goes to him and says, look, like we need you here, like we can do this with you. If Ronaldo convinces him, like that's where I believe Zidane's head can get turned. Because of like Zidane's worked with Ronaldo, he knows like he would trust Ronaldo, when he says. So that's why I think that's the only one way I see that they can get him. Otherwise, I just don't think if United as a club go to him, I don't think it'll happen. Honestly.
Interesting take, mate. Thanks for phoning in and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Next on the show, Avi is with us now. Morning, my friend. Who do you support?
Hi, man. I'm doing very well. Of course, Manchester United. One of the viewers just said that we need to convince Zidane. I don't remember if my memory recalls, but since when the biggest club in the world has to convince someone to come and coach us, given the squad that we have Varane, we have Ronaldo, we have Sancho that hasn't been used yet, and that's pretty damning of the circumstance that we're in. Also, I feel that an average manager gets the best out of a great squad, but a great manager gets the best out of an average squad. So right, Ole needs to be sacked, and things need to change. I am not too sure if the convincing part is really good for the reputation of a club, because I support United. I've been supporting them for 16 years now, and I'm only 24. So I was like 7 or 8 when I won. So I haven't been fortunate enough to go and watch a game, but I'm pretty sure we're still the biggest club in the world, and if we want someone, we can get that person. So there's the convincing part really doesn't go well with me.
Yeah, listen, I would say this. rivals are desperate for these big managers to say no to us. Like legit, they are desperate for it. And I actually respect why. Why would you not? What I would say is this. If Man United can't convince the best managers in the world to join us, we may as well give up now. We legitimately may as well give up now. There's no point us continuing to pretend to be an elite level club if we cannot convince the best managers in the world to come to us. That for me would be the most damning.
No, you're absolutely right. Like I have 220,000 followers on my Instagram, and most of them are United fans. But the rest of them who aren't, specifically Arsenal fans, they kind of see us going down their path when they haven't won a major trophy since I think 2004, if I'm not mistaken. And all of them are just like, yeah, Ole in, which just shows that that's the manager we don't need at a club right now, because rivals are really counting for it. So yeah, it's really sad the kind of DMs I get through and through Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, Dortmund fans are mocking us. Imagine Dortmund of all people, but I love Dortmund. Like it's a beautiful club. I respect to all of the clubs that I mentioned. But yes, that's a sad part that I have to go through like every day in my DMs. Like, yeah, you're a United fan. Shit.
No, listen, I hear you on it. And look, right now, rivals are. I would say they're right. The consensus is right now that Zidane is taking France. He wouldn't look at Manchester United. I would love the club to pull it off. Would it change how I think and feel about our owners and our board? No, it's a step in the right direction. It's a good move. I want to see it backed. But like I said for a long time, I don't believe this club has a long-term strategy. So we've got a very good squad. Just give them a world-class manager, and at least in the short term, we might yield some success. I honestly think that's all we've got to look forward to is this club will do. One thing they will do is they will try their best to construct a very good squad and let a manager go away and coach it for 2 or 3 years. So just get the best squad possible and the best manager possible and send them out there. No more we're building something for the next 10 years and then you stop trying to do that. Just bring in a world-class manager to manage his really good squad and let's see what happens. That for me is the best method from this point moving forward. Great call, Avi. Thanks for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate it,
man. Thank you. No, you used to be the biggest club in the world is what Neville's got. So again, best on terms of what we do on the football pitch, we're nowhere near that anymore. In terms of Man United as a football club and fan base, gargantuan. Absolutely gargantuan right now. Let's have a look at this here. Zidane will not work at Man United, is what he's saying here. The Athletic reported 69% of Man United fans are Ollie out. I mean, it's still not enough, in my opinion. United aren't trying to attract big names, is what Twisted Bubba thinks. Did these same players play for Mourinho and then Ollie, and now these players will play better for a new one? No, most of these need to go, is what Taff's got to say here. Terry, a Man United becoming his history channel like Arsenal, talk about past, nothing in the present. Man United are definitely going down that angle, my bro. Man United are almost certainly going down that kind of direction where we are becoming that. There's no doubt about it. You've got to keep winning in the contemporary sense. Thank you, Strip Bear, for the super sticker. It means a great deal to me. Thank you very much indeed. Nav here says, Terry, him not being funny is the only support. Sorry. Him not being funny, he only supported United because of the history, like the Southern London fans, or it's, oh, my dad watched them excuse. I'm being real here now. Look, of course, Man United have some glory hunter fans, but listen, I'm from London. I know my reasons for picking Manchester United. I know my love. I know how I feel for the football club. I know what I would do for the football club. I know how desperate I am for the club to be competitive with what we spend. And yeah, I'm not going to challenge somebody's support or love for the club based on the postcode, the country, or they were born in, or the accent that they hold. I don't think that is the right thing to do, in my opinion. I really, really don't. That's just my way of doing things. Okay. Anyone else fancy phoning in? I thought there'd be more of you calling in on this today. Terry is a spammer. Thanks, Leo. That means a great day. That's a nice thing to say. I don't really understand it, but thank you. Thank you very much for being so lovely. We always like a nice comment in the mornings. Nice thing to wake up to. Let's have a look at a few more of your comments coming here. Brendan Rodgers is a fixer manager. His team always fix matches. That's what Daniel's got to say. That's a strange one for me. That's a strange one. I like the weird comments. Morning, Ian Lee. Hope you're good, bro. Hope you're in a good mood. Got AJ coming on the line soon to have his say this morning. I used to not like Terry, and then he improved his content. Thank you, Robert. Thank you very, very much indeed. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but you know, like I love my viewers that tune in every day, the respectful people and that, like I love nothing but admiration and it makes me feel humble. I really like the haters though as well, because I think imagine every day you come to my streams to hate on me every day, 3 times a day. I love you, legit. I love you, man. It's the best. Think about it. It's like if I don't like someone, I don't watch their stuff. I don't know, you hate me so much. You spend 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day watching me. I love you. AJ's here. What are you saying, AJ?
First of all, I want to say I love what you're selling. I love your show. It's a great stream, mate. Second of all, I spoke to you a few weeks ago. I talked about Conte going to United. I still think you guys missed the trick there. I think with the squad you guys have, there's quality all over the pitch. Conte got to come in and utilize that. Yeah, you said you guys are right. He would be a very, very, very short-term fix. He's never there at a club long enough, and he wants a massive overhaul of the squad. He's not going to develop your younger players. Probably he's just going to go out and buy the biggest and best players he can get. And with Man United's funding, he could probably afford it. But at the moment, you probably try best off waiting for Zinedine Zidane if possible. But Rodgers would be like a decent interim until Zidane maybe wants to throw his hat back in the ring for a club, because I hear he wants to go for the French job. So don't know where that'll go, but yeah.
And do you know what? Like, I don't like to praise the Glazers or even suggest they've done something good. What my kind of hope with this whole situation is that actually the reason it's taken some time is because Zidane was always the number one choice, and they're like, well, we're not going to jump straight into bed with Conte or straight into bed with Rodgers. We're going to try our absolute best to get Zidane, even if it means Ollie stays in for an extra 2 or 3 weeks. If Zidane was to come in, or a manager of that ilk, and you look back and with hindsight, like, actually, I can understand the process now. It makes sense. My fear, though, is if you spend all this time maybe chasing and trying to convince Zidane, and you end up with a much inferior manager, it's like that would be typical Man United's board. Like, I kind of feel like if City were chasing Zidane right now, Real Madrid were going back in for him again, or like another major team, and they were trying to convince him to not take the France job, I really feel like they'd do it. I just don't have faith that my board, my club, has the ability, the negotiators, to convince him to do it. I wish we did. I don't think it's a case of, I mean, the part of the article with the Times today even says, and I'll quote it, it says, Zidane is understood to be unsure whether the opportunity presents the right one to take at this point. And who doesn't understand Zidane's reservations there? Like, legitimately, for me, I completely get where he's coming from. There's almost a part of me that doesn't want Zidane to take it either, because I'm like, bro, this could make you look bad. So I'm honestly like, it's such a horrible situation because of how we're run. Who do you think will come in there? Who do you honestly think will take the job?
Well, I don't know, based on the reports I'm hearing, it'll probably be Rodgers. I mean, he's the odds-on favourite at the moment. But I mean, again, he's going to be a step down from what the elite level, world-class coaches you really want at your club, because you want that manager to take on the squad. And like I think someone said earlier, an elite manager will take an average squad and make them great. And that's true. You get someone like Zidane in. Rodgers, you said it the other day, he's a great coach, but his man management skills probably aren't as good as some of the other guys. They're like the Tuchels or the Klopps and the Pep Guardiolas. And I feel that's right. Like, he's done great with limited resources at Leicester. You can't detract anything from that. He's done a really good job there. But he had the chance at Liverpool. He's been at a big club. He's had his run. I'm not saying he was bad there, but that whole slip is, not his fault. I mean, they lost that one game to Chelsea or had the draw, and then they lost to Crystal Palace the next week. So that then if they beat Crystal Palace, they still might have won the title. So that comes down to like maybe the choices he chose for the next game is like a reaction. But I just don't think he's going to have the impact. Like he's not going to make that tactical tweak at halftime or even 35 minutes into a game and realize, shit, I shouldn't be playing this guy and try to swap him out, try to change the tactics, change formation mid-game. He's not not that kind of reactive kind of coach. I feel he has his set ways, his set philosophy, and then he's going to want to do it his way.
Yeah, no, listen, again, I think he's a good manager. I've said it a few times in the last week. I think he's good. There's just better out there. And if we can get better, like it needs to happen. And you know, if we were a well-run club, and like Liverpool, for instance, the way I'd be reading this whole news story and news cycle right now, I would be legitimately reading it as Rodgers is like the backup to Zidane. They're working on both. Yeah. Relax, everybody. Something good is going to be delivered out of this. But because it's Man United, the take is more, this is awful. This is rubbish. This is painful. And yeah, that's the concern for me. But listen, AJ, great call, mate. Thank you for the kind words earlier on in the show as well. Means a great deal to me, bro. Speak to you soon, mate. Top man. Thank you. Take care. Thank you. Hexagon here says, everybody suggested a new manager. Fair enough. Club ownership is much more important. Yes, everybody has an idea who should replace the Glazers. Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know the individual person that would replace the Glazers. My suggestion would be a world-class manager, not world-class manager, a very rich owner that just wants to be successful on the field of play. And if that's your mantra, if that's what you're focusing on, the field of play success, you're always going to be, you will then therefore be successful, in my opinion. Ads is on the show with us next. Ads is here. What you saying, bro? Liverpool fan in the house.
Yes, Terry, man. First of all, I just want to say, man, big up yourself, bro, for always giving people a platform to come and, speak. I know there's a few haters out there, man, but man, just keep doing your thing, yeah.
Thank you, brother.
I want to talk on this Rodgers thing because I do find, listen, every fan out there, we all know, if United get their hands a hold of a good manager, that could become a potential problem. And we don't want that to happen. We love the Ole situation at the moment. So anyone that's out there saying they're not worried if you guys go and get a Zidane, they're capping because they know that United team is almost like a sleeping giant. Something can happen with that. But as long as Ole's at that will, that potential will never be fulfilled. And I look at the Brendan, It's true. It's true. I look at that Brendan Rodgers situation now. I think Rodgers is a brilliant manager for starting up. And even when we had him at Liverpool, he was kind of the foundation of what we're seeing at the moment with the Jurgen Klopp because we had something in place. Now, can he compete at the elite level? That's where the question mark is with Brendan Rodgers. I know the earlier speaker just spoke about the Chelsea game and said maybe you could blame him. I blame him massively because in that Chelsea game, he went out full attack against Chelsea, which we didn't need to do. We could have won the league had we got a draw against Chelsea and beat Palace the following week. He got his tactics all wrong. And the same thing with the last couple of seasons where he's missed out at the top four. His decision-making at that elite level has kind of failed him. And I think Brendan is a great manager. But if you're talking about going to that next level for United, unfortunately, that's not the guy. But at the same time, I see it from United's predicament. There isn't much options out there. The idea or the hope of Zidane coming is in the air, you never know. But apart from Zidane, there isn't anyone out there that I can say can come to that United team and take you guys to the next level until maybe next summer. But then you lose out on a whole year. You lose out on Ronaldo in his prime at the moment, towards the end of his career. You lose out on the chemistry of Bruno and potentially Pogba because we're approaching January and there's a possibility Pogba leaves. So I think this is just a catalogue of bad decisions from your board that's trickled through. And unfortunately for United fans, you guys are seeing the pain at the moment. I do think by next summer, if Ole does stay, even though this season would be devastating, I think that might be the best option, unless you can get someone like a Zidane in, because by next summer, you'll have the option of having more managers like the Ten Hags, the great managers available to really bring them on board. But yeah, interesting times for you guys.
Yeah, listen, great call, mate. Really, really understand where you're coming from and what you're saying. And on the Brendan Rodgers thing, like you've said, like, I'm not trying to disrespect him. The one thing you said, where you said, like, I don't think he's a great manager. I think he's a great coach. I think my opinion of Rodgers is a bang average manager. So the way he manages the situations, manages rotation, manages squads, I think leaves a lot to be desired. How he coaches the team is exemplary. That's why my only reservation with him, barring the Liverpool connection, would be, can he get Man United over that line? I don't know, because there's no proof that he can get a big team over a line. Zidane is a bit like Conte, a bit like Tuchel, a bit like Klopp, a bit like Pep. When they've come into big clubs in England, they've already got a proven track record of winning the biggest trophies in the best leagues in the world. You know they can deliver it. Like, I just think that's what we need to aim for. The issue is whether or not our board has the ability to get these deals done. But great call, mate. Thanks, Ads, for coming on. Really good stuff being said there, my guy. Thank you. Let's do some more of your comments here. The same mistake we made signing Maguire instead of Koulibaly. They said that Maguire is proven to be the better player because he played in the Premier League. Tuchel is doing well at Chelsea. Zidane, for me, get him in. We have a member super chat here. 5 months celebrating as a member. Thank you, from AMT, who says, how about Ronald Koeman, attractive football? Koeman, for me, is a big no. I think his time has passed as an elite level manager now at the very peak of his powers. Let's do some more of these comments coming through here. What's being said? Try to remember chats here. I want to try and put out as many as I can. Thank you, Twisted Bubba, for sharing my emoji. Remember, if you are a member, you should definitely use the emojis a little bit more. No real guesses today, even on the super chats, for our secret phrase. Remember, we're giving away a PS5. A PS5 we are giving away, people. And a lot of you super chat in, so please make sure you're getting your guesses in, people. Roland here says, Zidane is not as good as Rodgers. Zidane had Ronaldo, Modric, Cruz, Benzema, Ramos, who were all in their prime. Rodgers has proven in the Premier League experience and is a better fit, is what Roland believes. That's what Roland's got to say on this matter. Let's do some more of these comments. If you are certain the board is the problem, which top-tier manager in their right mind would go to United after what happened at Liverpool? See, do you know what's interesting, bro? See, there you see my agenda come through. I believe if there was an elite level manager at the peak of his powers in charge and it crumbles and falls, I believe it would get the attention and prick the interest of more Man United fans to start focusing on the real problem at the football club and not it just being a kind of footnote when it's popular for a few weeks. That's how I feel about it anyway. That's how it kind of feels to me as an individual looking at this sort of current situation at Manchester United. On the previous point about Rodgers being better than Zidane, no, not in my opinion. You've actually, in that comment, you've proven why, like for me, you've proven my reasoning as to why I think Zidane's a better fit. United have some huge players with huge egos in their squad. Zidane's proven to be able to manage that. People think that when you buy star quality, it makes your job easier. And it does from a style of play sometimes and having match winners on the pitch. But managing those egos, controlling that dressing room, requires a skill that only a finite amount of managers possess. The greatest coaches are not always the best managers. And Zidane showing that he can manage all those egos, keep people happy. Even when he upsets somebody, keep them on side. That's the reason for me why he is the number one man for this job of available managers. Even Ten Hag, who's looked at as supremely brilliant coach, has he managed a squad with the talent and the pressure surrounding it that are Man United, that are Real Madrid, that are Barcelona, that are Liverpool, that are Bayern Munich is faced with week in, week out? Where every time you don't win, in fact, every time you win but don't win well, you're scrutinized. That's the kind of person that Manchester United need, in my humble opinion. Super chat here says, Terry, stop pushing Rodgers. Honestly, failure is no. I mean, I'm not personally pushing Rodgers. I'm just sharing the news, my bro. But thank you very much indeed. I'm not going to ignore the news. That isn't going to happen. But listen, everyone who was tuned in this morning, everyone who was subscribed new to the channel, all the people that have hit that like button for us, thank you. Back later on today, we're going to be delving into some other teams later on today. Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool. bit of a roundup of what's gone on the international circuit as well. Unless there's breaking news with Man United's managerial situation, we will be talking about some other clubs. We'll see you later on today. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all.